Welcome to Sports Grind Season 3, Episode 7. My name's Tyler Wargo. So without further ado, we have a lot of sports to cover, starting with NFL Week 6, which was last week, and MLB postseason as the NLCS and ALCS is actually still going. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting off NFL Week 6, Jaguars actually got a win for the first time this season, beating the Dolphins 23-20 in the UK, so maybe it was England that made them win. But other than that, it was a close game. Dolphins and Jaguars both played well. Vikings picked up a win facing the Panthers 34-28. Ravens been hot lately, beating the Chargers 34-6. And, the Ravens has been unstoppable. They have this one loss on their record, and they're 5-1 right now, and, they're that Super Bowl contending team. I'm going to say it right now. Lamar Jackson threw 167 yards and 1 touchdown. Devonta Freeman was the man to look at as he had 9 carries, 53 yards, and 1 touchdown. Justin Tucker made 2 out of 2 field goals, overall having 10 points in kicking. Rams handled the Giants, winning 38-11. Cooper Kupp had 2 touchdowns and a total of receiving yards of 130. So obviously Cooper Kupp, he's one of the best rushers for the Rams right now. And honestly, him and Matthew Stafford have been really working well, excellently on the field. Rams defense had a total of 3 interceptions. So obviously it's not just the Rams offense that you got to look at, it's the Rams defense. So Saquon Barkley is still out going with Kenny Galladay. Hopefully those guys can make a return soon. I don't think they're going to be playing this Sunday, but they should be returning a week from now. So, but what does this mean for the Giants going forward with these injuries? I mean, obviously they're having injuries all over the place right now, going with their defense too, and they got to just keep it up right now. But what do these injuries mean for the Giants going forward? I mean, Saquon Barkley, Kenny Galladay out. What does this mean? I really think that they're going to suffer a loss this upcoming week, especially without them. And I think going forward, when they do have them back, the Giants will be winning games again. Colts hammered the Texans 31-3. Chiefs destroyed the Washington football team 31-13. Darrell Williams had a total of 2 touchdowns, gaining a total of 62 yards. Ricky Seals Jr. had a total of 1 touchdown, going with 58 yards. Chiefs had a total of 499 yards. I mean, can you believe that? Chiefs getting 499 yards. I mean, Mahomes is obviously working on the field. He was definitely playing his part on the field for the Chiefs. And honestly, for Washington, they had a total of 276, so they were not comparable to the Chiefs that game. Going forward, Washington football team, they got to pick up the wins again, as they lost 2 weeks in a row now. Packers showed up in Chicago, beating the Bears 24-14. Bears are now 3-3. Aaron Jones and Rodgers both had a touchdown. Aaron Jones and Aaron Rodgers, those guys are like the most communicative and most efficient guys on the field. Those guys are really getting it done for the Packers. I mean, this is why the Packers are really this good. I mean, yeah, they've been losing some games, but they've been actually winning most of their games. So I think that's the key thing to look at. But could the Bears do better defensively? I honestly will say no. Roquan Smith has 6 for 6 tackles and assists, and Eddie Jackson had a total of 6 tackles. So obviously the Bears defense was there. It was just their offense that played a role. Bengals beat the Lions 34-11 in Detroit. Cardinals ended the Browns 37-14. DeAndre Hopkins had a total of 2 touchdowns, 57 yards, and an average of 18.3. Why are the Cardinals still undefeated? I mean, they are 6-0. We've never seen this before from the Cardinals. The Cardinals last year were good, but the Cardinals were not as good as they were this year. I mean, this time around, they're absolutely stunning on the field, and I'll answer that for you. They have DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Green on the field, and Chase Edmonds. So with all those 3 guys combined, with a great defense, I mean, that's their outcome, winning games like that, and remaining undefeated. Kyler Murray threw no interceptions and had no sacks, going with no fumbles, so that's another reason why the Cardinals are still undefeated. Kyler Murray is one of the best QBs in the league right now. Cowboys beat the Patriots 35-29. Mac Jones is doing well in the first and fourth quarter, but gave it up to the Cowboys defense. The Cowboys defense, we were seeing interceptions toward the fourth quarter, and it was not looking good for Mac Jones. But the thing is the Patriots were able to keep up with the Cowboys, and seasons back when the Patriots had Tom Brady, they could have easily shut down the Cowboys, but nowadays, the Cowboys are shutting the Patriots out, and that's great to see from the Cowboys. Dak Prescott is absolutely on fire right now. He's in the league, gaining 445 yards, throwing 3 touchdowns. I mean, that is exceptional for the Cowboys right there, and he is going far right now. Cowboys have 3 easy matchups these next 3 weeks as they face the Vikings, Broncos, and Falcons. So I think we're going to be seeing some wins from the Cowboys these upcoming weeks. Raiders beat the Broncos in Denver 34-24. Josh Jacobs had a total of 1 touchdown with an average of 3.3. Although the Broncos lost, I really think that they're still that efficient team. They're keeping their wins and losses consistent. And Teddy Bridgewater throwing 3 touchdowns and giving up 3 interceptions. He's staying consistent with the team. And I think he is improving over time, but we're just not seeing it right now. Steelers won against the Seahawks finally. I mean, the Steelers were really bad beginning of the year, and now they're actually doing decent, beating the Seahawks 23-20. But that was in overtime. Steelers are now 3-3. Seahawks are now 2-4. The Seahawks are not doing well as they have Geno Smith on their team. And honestly, should we see more from Geno Smith? And my question is yes, we should see more from him. He's not throwing as much yards. I mean, having 209 yards but not getting any touchdowns, that's a problem. That's called you got to start throwing. That's called you got to start running the ball and relying on your receivers. Instead, you're throwing the ball, giving the ball up, and it's just not working out for the Seahawks. And they must learn how to play, especially against teams like the Steelers. And, you know, the Steelers' defense is absolutely exceptional right now, and especially if DK Metcalf is on your offense and other great offenders on their team, we would expect Geno Smith to be playing well with them, but he's not getting the job done with them. Titans shockingly beat the Bills 31-34. Both teams played really well on both sides. Derrick Henry was the guy to look at as he scored 2 touchdowns. I mean, Derrick Henry, this guy scored more yards than he did last year, and this guy gained 50 yards in just 1 play as he scored a touchdown, and that was absolutely amazing to see. But, you know, for the Titans, should we see more from Tannehill? I mean, 1 touchdown, can't throw the ball besides running it. He needs to improve. We got to see more from Tannehill. Game's back, he's been throwing a touchdown or 2, but other than that, we've been seeing interceptions, loss of communication, loss of yards, and, you know, Tannehill just needs to improve. Lastly, for the NFL Week 6, we have, or this is moving on to 7, but lastly for the NFL, Browns beat the Broncos 17-14 to start Week 7. Baker Mayfield was not playing. Case Keenum was in replace, throwing 1 touchdown. So I really think the Browns could have won if they had. I think the Browns could have won if they actually had Baker Mayfield in the lineup, but obviously he was not in the lineup. He had a rest day, so obviously that was why the Browns lost. But other than that, the Broncos also need improvement on their defense, other than their offense, which was there that game. Teddy Bridgewater threw 2 touchdowns, giving up only 1 interception. I really think Teddy Bridgewater is, like I said earlier in the show, he's improving. I really think he's actually going to go far with the team right now. But, you know, he has to work it out across the field with his team. So now we take you over to the hottest stuff right now in sports. MLB postseason, which was the ALCS and the NLCS. And it's still happening right now, just like last week. It's still actually happening. These games are getting really good. They're getting close. And to start off, let's talk about the Red Sox playing the Astros. I mean, they're playing tonight at 8. Houston leads by 3. Boston falls by 2. Let's talk about it. I was not expecting the Red Sox to actually be falling in the series by 2. I would expect them to be beating the Astros, especially battling the Rays. I mean, in reality, the Rays would actually be beating the Astros, but no, the Red Sox were that team and they beat the Rays. But I mean, I've never seen the Astros play this good. I mean, yes, they got good infield, they got good hitters, but compared to the Red Sox, I'm not even a Red Sox fan. I'm going to say right now, the Red Sox are really good. Their hitting is just on point. So that's amazing to see. But I really think that the Red Sox still have a shot at this. I mean, they're going to go into Houston tonight. Obviously, it's going to be pressure on them. But Red Sox have Dahlbeck, they have Devers, they have a lot of good players on their team. So the Red Sox will be doing really well tonight, in my opinion. But the Dodgers play the Braves tomorrow in Atlanta, and the Dodgers fall by 2, Braves lead by 3. I mean, we have seen the comeback from last year, so hopefully we could see it again from us Dodger fans. But besides all that, the Braves have hitting. I mean, Freddie Freeman's a very scary guy to pitch against. And I'm going to say right now, as a Dodger fan, our bullpen is not looking good right now. We're literally putting our relievers in for starting, and it's not working out for us right now, right? Max Scherzer didn't even play last night, and I would expect him to be in, but we were crushing them 11-2, so we didn't need Scherzer. But in a situation where you're facing the Braves, we would need to use Scherzer, we would need to use Urias, and I hope going forward we use those players instead of our bullpen. Our bullpen is not that good. I mean, we are good, but we're not that good. And I just got the news from yesterday that Joe Kelly will not even be in the lineup anymore, or the bullpen, because he's hurt. We're hurting our players. We have 2 guys hurt. We have Muncy hurt. We have Turner hurt. I mean, and Joe Kelly and Kershaw, obviously. 4 players hurt. We got to see more from the Dodgers. If they want to win this series, they got to step up to the plate and improve their bullpen right now, because right now the Braves, they're looking hot right now with the bats. Besides last night's game, the Braves, already 3 wins, and I think the Braves, I think they're confident heading into tomorrow's game, but the Dodgers, hopefully they can win. So, without further ado, that's it for today's show. We will cover NBA when MLB ends. And, yeah, thank you guys for tuning in to Sports Grind Season 3, Episode 7. Bye.